listener. Another day and yet another example of how dependent we have become on our tech, how integrated it has become in our lives, and how things can get really screwed up for us when it all goes wrong. So we've got some stuff to get into with Amazon and their AWS web services and the issues that came across yesterday. And as of the time I'm recording this, it's still kind of an issue, so we shall see. Before we get into that, though, I am Dan. This is the Soule of Wisdom, and we have, since the beginning of the month, every day, been opening up the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar. So we do need to figure out what we've got on tap for today. So let's go ahead and open up slot number 8. Oh. He's a sand people. You can see the picture there if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble. So we will go ahead and we will build him and we'll make him dance in front of the camera for segment 3, because we all know that sand people absolutely love to dance. Actually, I think they just take their sticks and like wave them up above their heads and go, ugh, or something like that. I think that's how that went. Okay. With that out of the way, one more thing. Please share this show with people that you know, especially if you like our content, because it does help us get out in front of other people. The show continues to grow. It will grow faster with your help, so we would appreciate that. You can also visit us online at soulewisdom.com, SOULE wisdom.com. You can email us questions at soulewisdom.com. Okie dokie. So let's dig into this story. This from CNBC, one of many places who has covered this. It says, Amazon Web Services outage brings some delivery operations to a standstill. Article reads, Amazon's cloud computing unit on Tuesday was hit with an outage that took down some websites and services. A notice on Amazon Web Services status page said it was experiencing problems with certain APIs and the AWS Management Console. The outage began around 11 a.m. Eastern. As of Tuesday evening, AWS said in an updated notice that many of its underlying issues causing the outage have been mitigated. All issues impacting its popular EC2 cloud computing services were resolved, while other services were still having problems. We're seeing improvement in availability across most AWS services. We continue to work towards full recovery for all impacted AWS services and API operations. Among the services that reported issues as a result of the outage were Disney+, Netflix, Slack, Ticketmaster, Robinhood, Coinbase, among others. The outage also brought down critical tools used inside of Amazon. Warehouse and delivery workers, along with drivers for Amazon's Flex services, reported on Reddit that they could not access the applications, making it impossible to scan or access delivery routes. In a statement, Amazon spokesperson Richard Roca confirmed Amazon's warehouse and delivery operations were experiencing problems, added that the company is working to resolve as quickly as possible. In a notice sent to delivery drivers via Amazon Chime, its internal chat app, the company said it was currently monitoring a network-wide technical outage. Drivers who are unable to continue delivering due to the outage go to a nearby safe location and stand by. Samuel Caceres, an Amazon driver in Washington State, told CNBC his facility had been at a standstill since 8 a.m. Drivers at the warehouse have been on standby since. It said many warehouse and delivery workers were instructed to wait in break rooms. Some drivers were sent home. And then the article goes on to explain how Amazon delivers more and more of its own packages now rather than relying on other carriers. Okay, so as of the time that I'm recording this, I'm still seeing issues with some of the Amazon things. Most notably, I believe, at least here in the Phoenix area, they're still having some delivery issues. We were supposed to get Amazon deliveries yesterday that have not arrived. There has been no updates on said deliveries. And the neighborhood has been remarkably quiet of Amazon delivery trucks, which usually seem to run through here in a nonstop convoy. So they're definitely having some issues. I think the real question becomes is how exactly did these issues happen? Was this some kind of hacking attack from some other entity? Was it a complete system failure? Was it bad programming? Who the heck knows? But this illustrates one of the issues that I have had with the interwebs for quite some time now. And we're kind of doing this with everything. We're taking so much power and we are conglomerating it under smaller and smaller numbers of groups. So what I mean by that is all of the power gets put into one or two places who aren't in and of themselves small groups, but it's grouped in small amounts, if you get what I'm saying. So in this case, AWS runs a significant portion of the interwebs. I mean, obviously they run their own internal Amazon stuff, but you saw the list that I went through there: Netflix, Disney, Coinbase, Robinhood. They're just a few of them who use AWS to host their services, and they were affected by this outage. And I can confirm for you that Netflix and Disney Plus and Robinhood and Coinbase were affected because we use all four of those here at La Casa del Sol, and none of them were working. So it is yet another example of how consolidating power under one or two names in one or two places isn't such a good thing. Ultimately, there has to be a little bit, and I think this is becoming the case with Amazon especially. I think they're getting a little bit too big for their britches, to be honest. There needs to be some breakup of this just a little bit. And I'm not normally for that sort of thing, but when you consider all of the delivery that they control, all of the retail that they control, now all of the internet that they control, and their tentacles just keep getting deeper and deeper into everything. When one segment of what they do fails, it puts so much of our society into chaos because their tentacles are so deep in everything. Now, this kind of makes me think to the Toy Story, Disney, Pixar. That's what I was looking for. Drew a blank there. The Pixar universe, okay? If you look at their universe, one of the big companies that's always mentioned there is By and Large. And if you kind of follow the Pixar timeline, they grow and they grow and they grow. And by the time you get to WALL-E, which is the story in the timeline that takes place way in the future, they grew to the point where the planet was just completely overrun and destroyed, and the humans that were left had to get on ships and go out into space. Well, By and Large tried to clean things up, and ultimately it was so out of control they couldn't clean things up, and they just sent orders out to the ships to just stay out in space because they couldn't fix it because it had gotten that far out of control. Now, that's kind of a extreme, obviously cartoony example of this, but it does illustrate how if one company gets too much control, things can get out of control. And I fear that in the case of Amazon and, this internet problem that ends up affecting deliveries and, different corporate systems and your ability to trade on certain markets and just your ability to watch a movie. I mean, you think of all the things that get affected just by a little blip that this one company has. That's not good for us. We should never concentrate that much power and control under one company. Now, what do we do about that at this point? I'm not entirely sure. I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I think taking them and separating them out into different entities is probably a start, but who knows whether or not that would happen. And even then, if you take the AWS and you separate them out into their own company, they still control a vast amount of the interwebs, and that's not good either. So even then, it needs to be needs to be further segmented out so that the control is under different places and you don't have bad things happening in massive amounts of industry and services just because something goes wrong at one place. So I guess we'll see if they can get things back up and running quick. Because, like I said, at the moment, at the time of recording this, things are still a little bit messed up. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, things have been fixed, and hopefully different services can get on with their lives and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. If you like what I have to say, if you enjoy listening to me, please do share the show with others, hit the like button, subscribe. If you are listening on the podcast side, please do leave a review. Those help get the show out as well. Next segment's coming up in a few hours. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and we will see you then.